New Zealand's interests.
I call Maggie Berry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This, I firmly believe, is a budget that delivers for a moderate and balanced approach for managing this government's finances. Because although the opposition continue to be determinedly unrealistic, we know how important it is to focus on what is important, to improving the quality of people's lives. And that's what this government is committed to doing. To give money to those who need it, not just to those who say they need it, who create a lot of noise and have their hands out all the time. This is about looking beyond the obvious and drilling down and targeting the money and the resources to the people who are genuinely in need. We are a realistic government. And when it comes to the twin areas of health and welfare in particular, these reforms, I think, are first-class illustrations of how this budget is making a difference to New Zealanders' lives and building a brighter future. I commend Minister Paula Bennett on her courageous and far-reaching welfare reforms. She boldly and fearlessly goes where others would not. 12% of our working-age population is on a benefit. That is completely unacceptable. 220,000 children are living in welfare-dependent homes. This is also unacceptable. It is trapping families into poverty. It is costing too much money. And this government firmly believes that those who can work should work. Let's look at what we've delivered in this zero budget, because although we need to have a budget that is tight in these difficult financial times, we are directing and targeting that money, as I said, to where it is required. Budget 2012 is investing up front in welfare, some $287.5 million over 4 years, and that's supporting stage one of our welfare reforms. This upfront investment is really going to help supporting New Zealanders on welfare to go into work, to leave behind that dependency. And in the meantime, we will be saving as a result of that for New Zealand taxpayers about $1 billion. Let's look at the numbers. $80 million is going into early childhood education. We absolutely appreciate that young people, our very, very young, need all the help that they can get from a very early age. And that's why we are so committed to it. Guaranteed childcare assistance payments. This is the sort of thing that is really going to help. And we're targeting the Pacifica communities, those who have not traditionally taken advantage of childcare facilities. We have increased that by 10% in the first 3 years of this government, and with the money, resources and intelligent policies that we are bringing into play here, that will increase. $55 million for 155 dedicated work and income support staff at the front line to support job seekers and sole parents into work. This is a good thing. $148 million on better youth services as well. That's to work particularly with young people who are disengaged and unemployed. These are the priorities that Minister Bennett and this government is putting into vulnerable health. And vulnerable young people in particular. When it comes to health, this is something that I observed over 30 years in the media. Health is often a story that's in the news when you have centre-right parties, because there is a tendency to target that money, and there are people who feel left out about that. So in this government, under the leadership of Tony Ryall in the past 3.5 years, we have seen that freewheeling spending under Labor, which achieved very little and got us into very difficult situations. We've seen that turned around, and I commend Tony Ryall, who in the past 3.5 years, and in particular in this latest budget, has really made a difference. I need to look no further than in my own electorate of the North Shore. Now, the Waitemata DHB used to be in the news for all the wrong reasons. People in corridors, exactly, Mr Okenval. People who were unable to get into hospitals, who were waiting for unacceptably long periods of time to get into the A&E department. It was something like 61% of the waiting time target was met. Not good enough. Absolutely not good enough. That's why we set targets. So in the meantime, what we've been doing now, since Tony Ryall appointed Lester Levy and has taken a very firm view on what Waitemata DHB was doing and put some more money into it where it's required, we have seen that amazingly go up to more than 95%. So we've met that target and we've exceeded it. So we are now able in the North Shore Hospital to admit, discharge or transfer patients within that 6 hours. And that is a tremendous achievement. When you set targets, you can measure them. They are achievable targets. They're ones that we are firmly focused on. And we direct people in the public service to achieve those. And if they don't, it is at their costs. I think when I look at what has happened and particularly in Waitemata, I'm very encouraged as a local Member of Parliament. On the North Shore, I get many people contacting me on a weekly basis, telling me good news stories about their experiences with North Shore Hospital. And I think these are real constituents, not just Mr Spray and Walk Away's people. Yes, he is indeed, as my colleagues Todd McClay and Michael Woodhouse have pointed out, he is the gift that just keeps on giving. The North Shore was in a difficult situation, and as a result of what this government and in particular Health Minister Tony Ryall has done with the North Shore Hospital, that situation has been turned around. It has come at a cost. Over the past 3 years, the government has invested $1.5 billion of new money into the public health service. $1.5 billion, indeed. In these very difficult financial times, we have found that money because we have prioritised it. And of that amount, $153 million extra funding has gone into the Waitemata DHB, and that has been into the facilities that I've mentioned, the emergency care departments, the new dialysis centre and a new elective surgery centre. These are the sort of measures that are really making a difference to people's lives. And I would ask the opposition to actually listen and to pay attention to what we've done. They might learn something. When I look at what the DHBs are doing by focusing on health targets, and again targets and control, these are uncharted territories for the people on the opposition benches, but they are the reason why this government is making gains in tough times. So we have improved access to elective procedures, much shorter waits for cancer treatment, and I'll come back to that in a moment, the shorter stays in emergency department, immunisation, which we've targeted again to increase, and rheumatic fever. These are illnesses which shouldn't be around, and we have those in our sights, and we will make sure that we make huge gains on that. We have better results for people who are trying to give up smoking, and we have worked closely with Tariana Turia and those in the Māori Party around those measures, because these are vital measures to the Māori community, Pacific Islanders and indeed to all New Zealanders. But we are making sure that there is help there for smokers who want to quit and to help themselves. We also have more heart and diabetes checks. Again, we're looking at trying to get the information to help people at an earlier stage of their care, rather than much further down the track when it's going to be much more expensive, not just in terms of dollars, but in terms of the emotional toll that it takes on the people. I am particularly encouraged by what we have done in this budget when it comes to cancer treatment. For anyone who has been through that journey themselves, or who has had a loved one go through it, you might be aware that some patients might have to explain their treatments and their symptoms and the problems that they're having to up to 30 doctors and many more nurses than that. This was adding unacceptable strain to many cancer patients. These are people who are already suffering enough and who need treatment of the most appropriate kind and in a timely fashion. As a result of the extra money that we have put into that, some $33 million, we have appointed designated cancer nurses who will be able to assist that individual going through the treatment and their families to know who to go to and when. They will be able to get to specialist care more quickly. They will emerge through the system, through their treatment, in the knowledge that they haven't wasted their precious time and their precious energy on informing bureaucrats and filling out forms. The essence of what we are trying to do in health is encapsulated with cancer patients, because it's about helping individuals, helping them help themselves, but making it as easy as possible to navigate things. From July the 1st, in fact, DHBs, in particular my one at Waitemata DHB, is collecting data at key points along the patient's clinical journey. Why are we doing that? Because we need to be able to measure and hold accountable the system. And if it's not delivering, we will land on them. We are improving public services, and we will continue to do so. And that's because we are holding them accountable. But yes, we are compassionate. We are not leaving people who need us, vulnerable people, out in the cold because they're waiting at the end of a long queue. We are targeting and focusing and helping those people, and that is really making a difference to people's lives. The policies of our government, I believe, and in particular this budget, in these difficult times, is going to result, as Bill English said earlier this morning, in a moderate growth to our economy. We will bring the books back into balance. We have, under the charismatic and visionary leadership of John Key, a very intelligent cabinet and a united and wise caucus who will see through the policies with a rigour and a tenacity that will make a difference to people's lives and will indeed build a brighter future for New Zealanders.
The Honourable Ruth Dyson.
Mr Speaker, I'm delighted to contribute to this stage of the Appropriation 2012-13 Estimates Bill. When the Minister Bill English introduced this